How you doing today, guys? Have a gorgeous extra large Tom Mayo Dr. Death. Just want to show it off to you guys before I ship it out. This is a gorgeous specimen of a knife. Very smooth. It's awesome. You see how it's nice and contoured. Has the chatter marks in the hole. Just gorgeous. I don't know the pattern on this Damascus. Absolutely gorgeous. Mosaic pins in the thumb studs. You can see it does look like it's sharpened on that top swedge area. If we can get a focus here. Broke out the good camera for this one. Anyways, you can see how it's like been touched with a belt. I wish we could get it to focus. There we go. So you can see like the belt ground finish there, but it's not sharp. So it's not double edged, it just has that look. And it's not like it's just a thin swedge, like it's actually like been touched with a belt. Gorgeous. Tom's grinds are completely hand done. No two of his knives are ever alike, I believe. He did do a mid-tech many years ago, before people were even really calling them mid-tech. But I still think those are hand ground. I forgot, were those called the EDC something or another? Man, I forget. It's been a long time, and I am certainly no Mayo expert. I have seen a few in my day, and I've been impressed with all of them. You can see how those grinds are nice and on for that hand-done swedge. How nice and straight everything is. Meets up perfectly to the tip. You wouldn't expect anything less, you know, from Tom Mayo, especially a knife in this price range. What you're looking at is really expensive for a knife. You know, worth it. Obviously, it's a different price category. This is getting on up into art, functional art. You're looking at this is right around $3,000 or a little bit more, depending on the day, the time, and who's willing to sell, or if they're willing to sell and who's willing to buy. Definitely not a cheap piece. Made by a legend. You can tell there's no blade play in it, obviously, no up and down. Tom's work is just incredibly perfect. It's amazing. Like, I wish everybody watching this video has a chance to like feel his work. On washers too, no bearings. This is a large knife. How large? Let's put it next to a regular 25. I can't even get it in the frame here. There. If you go butt to butt. So it's a large knife. I believe this is the extra large Dr. Death. I'd have to go back and check the email from my friend here. Just awesome though. Contoured. Fits in your hand perfectly. The Damascus is a work of art. All the contour, which I have to imagine is all hand done, is perfection. It really is. When and if I start making knives, I would love to go to this handmade, one-off style knife. You know, where it's all hand done. I don't believe he even uses any CNC. All of his milling is like a manual mill, I believe. Please do not quote me on that, but I believe. It is just a regular spring clip. Tom Mayo doesn't really do any milled out clips that I know of. Maybe he does, but I've never really seen any that I can remember. Just gorgeous. Check out how all of his holes are chamfered around. It just gives a nice, clean, finished look. With this light, hopefully we can see, he's even chamfered inside the handle here, if that makes sense. On this side of the slab. This side is nice and contoured around here. There's no hot spots. But sometimes, not really on Sebenzas, because Chris Reeve does that as well. They cut a chamfer on the inside. You can see that one right there. You know, just attention to detail. It's nice. It's appreciated. If you're looking for it, you'll see it. To the uninitiated, you know, this knife might seem a little plain. It might not seem like anything super special. You know, the blade is certainly interesting. You know, we had a big cookout this weekend, had some family over, and I showed this knife around. I really handled it. I didn't let anybody else really handle it, but just showing it off a little bit, you know, and everybody thought that the blade was super interesting, but you know, it's a piece of art. If you know what you're looking for, you'll certainly see it, but if you're just kind of a little bit into knives, you will have no idea how this knife could be worth what it is. Let's just say that. So beautifully simplistic, you know, and even some knife collectors don't get it. I get it. If I had enough money, I would have a collection of Mayos. I don't. I mean, I have other things I need, you know, grinder, shop tools, stuff like that. But I can certainly see the appeal of Tom Mayo's knives. And most of them are great designs, like great user knives. And I don't know how many people use them, but this, you can get to the thumb stud very easily with his nice chamfer cut here. The thumb stud with the mosaic pin is nice and round, very functional. There's no hot spots in your hand. For a large knife, it's pretty light. And then some of his like TNT models and stuff where he drills the whole handle out, they get super light. Even some of the Dr. Deaths get super light. You know, his knives are just incredible pieces, if that makes sense. Functioning art, you certainly can use them. Just as smooth as can be, though. I mean, I can't describe that for washers. It's very hydraulic. You're not going to be able to shake the blade down like that. No, that's not what it is. To do that, you need a really heavy blade. If you ever notice the knives that like shake down like that have a heavy blade. This has a lot of steel removed off of it. By the time you grind out for this, by the time you grind that swedge off, it's not, there's not much weight to this knife at all. I would bet this knife, as large as it is, probably doesn't weigh 5.5 ounces. Incredible. I think it's just cool to know what can be done by a true legend by hand. You know, and no two of his knives are alike. It's really something else. When you own a Mayo knife, you own a one-off piece. As long as it's not that mid-tech. I forget what that mid-tech was called. Check out that hole. How you got the Damascus blade peeking through there. Ah, gorgeous. Blade's dead centered, of course. We probably already said that. So that's what it is. Tom Mayo, extra large Dr. Death. And it might even be an XXL. I'm not sure. Again, I'd have to get with my friend on it. It was a fun piece to have around for a few weeks here. Never carried it, never used it, of course. Just amazing. Work of art. If you ever get a chance to handle a Tom Mayo, please do so. You'll see it's just a different level. Now, some people are not going to see it. You know, they're not going to see what they cost here. And that's fine. They're probably not for everybody. But for those who they're for, you know, they're just incredibly appealing. Hopefully you guys can get a good look around this knife. I love that contoured, just plain titanium up against that dark Damascus blade. And then he's blasted all of his hardware to match the handle perfectly. No decorative backspacer, no different milled out lathe spacers, just a plain straight titanium spacer. It's got to be titanium because that blasted finish is the exact same as the handle. Very sterile looking. Nowhere on here is his maker mark that I can see, not even on the inside. But you know, that's how you know it's an art piece, really. When you can look at the knife and say no other maker in the world made that, it's got to be a Tom Mayo knife. He doesn't even need to put a maker mark on here. Now most of his knives do, but this Damascus dress knife does not have a maker mark on it anywhere. Now most do. His like 154 CMs and stuff like that do. They have a stamp on them somewhere. Very sterile. I believe this one come out of the newest Gathering show, if I remember right. Just a work of art. I just wanted to share it. I've got to ship it off. I don't want to flick this knife. This is a knife you don't flick. You certainly could. The detent is so crisp. The lockup is so perfect. Absolutely no stick. And again, I don't know if I'm saying it for the second time, just a hydraulic feel. It is different than even Sebenza and stuff like that. And you can see how that detent is just set absolutely perfect. See how it's slammed shut? It's not aggressively slammed shut, but for a thumb stud based knife, this is perfect retention. It's strong. It's not too strong. You're not going to shake that blade out. Work of art. I mean, you can tell this man, Tom Mayo, knows his craft and is a true legend. What a fun piece. Alright guys, I'm going to get out of here. I've got tons of videos for you on the way. We're going to get out of here on a Damascus shot. Just the blade is a work of art. Is absolutely incredible. Alright, hopefully you guys enjoy your day. We're going to catch you on the next video. See ya.